魔法少女リリカルナノハエースポータブル The Gears of Destiny.
Hey, welcome back! Briareos Karensky here, and now that the unboxing is done, let's move on to the game itself.
始まります。
Gears of Destiny is the direct successor to Battle of Aces, and while the game system remains largely unchanged, much has been done to improve the single-player mode. Story mode is no longer and has branching paths, though they won't change how the story develops. The three characters introduced in Battle of Aces, Stern, Levi and the Arch, are now properly fleshed out, and a total of 3 new characters are introduced. The battle system has been refined, but is still centered around a short and long-range paradigm. Battles are fought like a 1 versus 1 beat-em-up. You've got an health meter, and a second meter allows a character to guard, dash and execute long-range attacks. This meter is replenished by performing close-range attacks, so even long-range fighters like Nanoha must close distances once in a while to recharge. If the guard meter is depleted by an enemy attack, a guard crash occurs, and the opponent is momentarily stunned. Square, circle and triangle are used for attacks. The X button is used for dashing, R to guard, and L to enter full drive mode. While in full drive, attacks become stronger and some characters feature different animations. The full drive only lasts a few seconds, but it also fully recharges and stops depletion of the guard meter. Pressing L a second time and connecting the following attack triggers a special move. Full drive mode can be entered as long as a character has charges, indicated by a square beside the guard meter. At long range, things get different from character to character, though as a general rule, square and triangle are devoted to light and heavy attacks, while square is used to momentarily stop the opponent. Reinforce, for example, fires a direct beam with square, but when held she releases a stationary ball of energy that will shoot a second beam if square is pressed again. Unfortunately, short-range combos are limited due to the 2 attack buttons. Mapping throws to, let's say, triangle plus square would have allowed to have a third button for normal attacks. This limitation becomes almost painful with the short-range fighters like Alpha or Zafira, that are forced to repeat their most effective combos over and over. It is possible to sprint behind an opponent and juggle for a bit, but again, attack options remain limited. Another limitation is the AI. Outside the last sequences in story mode, the computer absolutely lacks any will to put up a decent fight, and even the last battles in arcade and time attack modes will have the enemy walk right into long-range attacks. Survival mode does offer a better AI, but it's better, not challenging. Well, it is challenging, but in the wrong way. Perfect counters and split-second attacks before yours become the norm, and the game starts to get frustrating as it feels like the AI is cheating. Still, it is possible to get the computer into small loops, but such situations are not fun and it feels like a job you don't really want to do.
どうだ、見たか。
Single-player modes include Story Mode versus Com, Arcade, Survival, Time Attack and Training. Of these, Arcade, Survival and Time Attack are locked until other modes are completed. As said before, the Story Mode is much better than Battle of Aces. It comprises a total of 12 sequences, and each sequence is composed by several battles that often can be fought with different characters. Certain battles and a special sequence are only unlocked after meeting certain conditions, so this mode will last for a good amount of time. You'll be able to play with all characters present in the roster, but some like Alf, Yuno and the Catgirl sisters have limited playtime. The CPU in story mode starts very weak, but from halfway the difficulty ramps up very quickly, and it's possible to get frustrated at bad matchups or perfect counters performed by your opponent. Everything's kept within playable limits until sequence 11, where you face UD, the final enemy. Not only you have to go through her guard meter first to actually damage her, but she also has extremely damaging attacks at all ranges and performs perfect counters at each missed attack. Throws directly affect her health and she can be drawn into loops, but due to her large invincibility windows and small hitbox, it's difficult not to feel frustrated when playing against her. The story is fairly entertaining, though the "we must fight to understand if it's really you" is a typical excuse for most battles, along with the out-of-place evil clone that must be banished. Force and Vivid characters do feel a bit forced, though. I won't describe what's going on in detail, but you can guess that every problem is solved by pumping as many Starlight Breakers as possible right onto the enemy's face. That's what I love about Nanoha. Whereas your stereotypical magical girl solves problems with love and friendship, she solves them with superior firepower. What's not to like about this?
走れ赤星、すべてを焼き消す炎と変われ。新ルシフェリオンブレイカーダーン。
私か？
The other 1P modes are either a series of 8 battles, arcade and time attack, or 100 consecutive rounds, survival mode. They are used to unlock characters, special skills and outfits. Special skills allow to customize your character outside story mode, and in short they enhance a character's strong points or reduce their weaknesses. There are 3 slots available, unlike the 4 in Battle of Aces. Such skills, however, tend to make a character even more powerful than already is, though my experience is limited to single player mode. There is a local multiplayer mode, but no online, plus gallery and the possibility to record and view replays. The gallery allows to browse through unlocked CGs, characters and their outfits. The main characters have standard outfits, swimsuits, Namco-inspired costumes and other extras like Santa Claus outfits, casual wear or battle dresses from the first movie. Namco cameos are especially nice. There is Fate as Klonoa, Vita as the Prince of the Cosmos, Nanoha as the Valkyria from Valkyria no Densetsu, an old PC Engine game, though my personal favorite is Reinforce as either Cosmos or Telos from Xenosaga. Sadly, a lot of characters only have a single core variation of their regular outfit, and there are no Bandai-inspired costumes. Why not having Amity and Kiria dressed up as Xeon or Federation officers, or Vita as Zaku 2S? That would have been great. Graphics are well done, models are alright and with crisp textures. During the closest shots, maps do look pixelated, but everything looks good most of the times. Some effects like smoke or the various items left on the battlefield by some characters do leave room for improvement. Animations are up to the graphics, but I'd say all attacks look a bit awkward if they don't connect, and there are a few examples of animations not looping properly or few hiccups here and there. Such errors are however minor, and everything is forgot after seeing a full drive or a counter attack. The backgrounds on the other end look very plain, but the action doesn't suffer from any slowdowns. There is nothing much to say about the voiceovers, except that the most soft-voiced characters like Stern get overshadowed by the BGMs during story mode. Speaking about volume, Vivio and the other characters seem to completely ignore the volume settings when screaming after defeat or a knockback. These are minor overlooks, but they could have been easily avoided. Of greater importance is the number of voice samples. All characters have one sample for attack or damage taken, and they get boring really quickly. Background music are mostly covered by the sound of explosions and constant screaming by the two opponents, and don't leave a strong impression. So, to wrap up, what do I think? If you are a Nanoha fan, it should last as long as there is something to unlock, but there is a possibility to get bored before due to the repetitive game system. The ad hoc mode for local multiplayer is nice, but, well, it's local and therefore useless to me. An online option would have been great and would have added a ton of replayability to what looks like a decent fighting game. I say looks like because the AI most of the times does not exactly shine for intelligence and is way too unforgiving the rest. This is the roughest edge of the game, but it's a common problem for all fighting games when no human opponents are available. The fighting system does allow for some nice tactics and the roster is varied enough, but the number of combos available for each character is low and at close range sometimes things feel a bit stiff. A deeper attack system with more variation between light and heavy attacks would have also been great. Nanoha Ace The Gears of Destiny is a nice game, clearly aimed to Nanoha fans and doesn't feel as a quick cash-in as the first game did. If you are not a Nanoha fan, however, it might have a very limited appeal.
いつだってどんな時だって